Hi, I'm Christine. I'm from Latvian Public Broadcasting from Northern Europe.
Hi, Christine.
Hello.
Nice to see you, and thank you for the film. It was such a treat.
Oh, good.
So I'll start right away saying that I love how the film showed science as a tool, but suggested that survival depends on empathy. And although, of course, this is an adaptation of a book, I was curious, how did you balance this intellect with moral courage in when shaping the story? And also, do you think that in real life we do have enough or the right proportions of these two things?
Well, we are human beings, and our brains, the engine of them is our ability to imagine what other people are thinking and feeling. It's like one of our superpowers.
And I do think that we, at our core, are inherently empathetic people. You know, Andy Weir likes to say that, you know, a lot of the bad acts make news because our kindness is basically hardwired into us. If someone falls on the street and spills all their groceries on the ground, most people passing by, their instinct is to go like, help them up, make sure they're okay, help them collect their things. And it's unusual when someone doesn't want to do that. And so we just have to sometimes be reminded to do what we're wired to do.
You wrote something down when you started writing the screenplay.
Yeah, it was very much, you know, communication is empathy and empathy is communication. And at its core, that's the two-way dance that we're playing with this entire movie.
And also another question regarding the comfort zone, because Grace obviously is forced to go far beyond comfort zone, both in space and both emotionally. And do you think that true growth comes only when we have no choice but to act?
Well, yeah, one of the things that Ryan was insistent on is I want to be a really good microbiologist and I want to be bad at everything else. And so we wanted to tell a story about somebody who was afraid and overcame those fears, which is, you know, I don't know if it's something about us that like I can't relate to winners, but I can relate to people who are fearful and overcome the fear. And that is a different kind of bravery than never being afraid in the first place.
Right. And I think that, you know, in some cases, he's sort of pressed into a situation where he has no other choice. But ultimately, I think his growth comes from having somebody he learns to care about enough that he can choose to be a brave person.
Yeah.
Regarding the genre, sci-fi can amplify the existential and ethical dilemmas. And I think by now we have space full of lonely men who are up there, given the film history. And I was curious, how did the genre conventions also shape your approach to this exact story?
One of the things I love about science fiction is that it allows you to probe deeper emotional and moral choices without it seeming so intense. You know, if you were a child of divorce, you might not be able to watch a movie like Kramer versus Kramer, but you could watch E.T. and understand what it feels like and feel seen through what divorce could feel like. And I feel like it's a wonderful way to reach people without seeming like you're being heavy-handed. It's a very open arms genre, and it's what I love about it.
And this is a movie, unlike some of those Lonely Spaceman movies, where, you know, those are often about someone feels alone in space. This is about a character who feels alone on Earth, and he goes to space, and that's where he starts to feel at home, and that's where he makes a friend for life.
Thank you so much. That's all the time I have. Best of luck, and thank you for taking time to talk.
Thank you. Those are very thoughtful questions.
Thank you. Very smart question.